Hey guys, welcome to our June team call. So glad that you could pop on. Welcome, welcome. All right, Justin's going to actually kind of kick off the call with some things that happened in May.
Things. Yes, things. That's the only thing I have written down in my notes, just things, May things. So Megan does a lot of, I was kind of laughing the other day, we did a call, the kickoff call for June for the Plexus worldwide company as a whole, which was a lot of fun. And so she came to the meeting, with these like nice notes and all these great things to share. And I had like 3 lines written down. So I'm like, yeah, we'll just ad lib. We'll just go kind of shoot from the hip. So it's kind of funny how different we are. But anyway, back to May. May was an incredible month. Lots of records were set in the company and on and on this team as well. There were some great rank ups and, of course, new products and things like that. So May was an incredible month, and which means June is going to be an even better month. So there's a lot of significant promotions that will be happening this month. Some rank ups. We have some rubies, senior golds.
Lots of silvers.
And then, lots of silvers. Next month, we'll have a senior ruby. We might even have a sapphire, in here somewhere between maybe this month, maybe next month. We'll see what's going on. So there's just a lot of really neat things going on. And when I was on that call, Megan and I were on that Plexus kickoff, June kickoff call. I don't know if you heard it or not, but I mentioned something in that call, and I said, they asked what we were most excited about. And I said some things that I was excited about with Plexus as a whole. And then I said, I'm excited about the team that I get to work with because I feel like we're just coming into our stride. I feel like we have not yet even hit our potential yet as a team. And I said on that call, I said this, you can go back and listen to it. It might not be an exact quote, but I said that I've said it before and I'll say it again, that we are a part of the best team in Plexus. So I said that in front of Celeste. I said that in front of Brooke Hemingway, Alec, Tarl, the whole corporate office. I said that. And the reason I said that is not because I'm some sort of a cheerleader and let's see if we can falsely prop people up. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe that we're part of the best team in Plexus. And so there's just so many neat things that are going on team-wide. May was incredible. And I think June, July, August are going to be incredible. Come September, there's going to be some major promotions yet that are on the way. So the next few months, I think, are going to be huge for this team. Of course, we have convention.
Yeah.
In
starting
just
Wednesday.
A couple days.
Yeah.
So everybody be praying for traveling mercies and that the Lord would watch between, those who are gone and their families back home and all those things. We'd all appreciate that. And I get an opportunity to speak to, last year there was 3,000 men there. I don't know how many will be at the event this year. They're expecting more than 3,000. I've never spoke to a crowd, not even a quarter that big. So it's a really huge opportunity. And so if you could pray specifically for that, that'll be on Saturday morning. I would appreciate that. But
keep doing scary things. See, you never outgrow that scary
thing. Exactly. So this is just the next scary thing to overcome, and it's just part of the journey. So anyway, May was awesome, and I really believe that these next few months the opportunity is huge. Like I said, we have convention, we have the leaders retreat contest starting. The details of that have not been released yet, but when they do, we'll be able to see what's going on with that. But there's going to be some changes to leaders retreat this year that has never happened before. We'll talk about that here shortly. And also with the new products coming out, and yet another new product this week will be released or announced at least during convention. So just a lot of really cool things going on, and this opportunity is right before us. So it's a pretty exciting time to be a Plexus ambassador.
Yes, and so I love being committed to excellence. I love being diligent and consistent, and I love teaching people to do the same thing. So kind of banking off of what Justin said, these next 90 days are absolutely critical, absolutely crucial. Actually, is it June, July? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the next 3 months. But I will say momentum started in January. Like so many of you really committed to your business, and you're mm-hmm. seeing the fruit of that starting to come into play now. So if you feel like you've been stuck, or maybe you're brand new, or wherever you're at in your journey, just know that today can be the beginning of whatever you want for your business. So whether you're just starting, or you're coming into momentum, or you're in momentum, or you've been stuck, or whatever, just know that it's simple things. You just hop in and jump on the train and be consistent day in, day out. So okay, so I want to talk about Leaders Retreat. So if you have not ever been to Leaders Retreat, let me just tell you, it is my most favorite Plexus event. It's almost like the best from every Plexus, like the year-round Plexus event opportunity. So it's a little bit like Super Saturday. There's a little bit of training. It's some fun travel, because it's usually hosted at a Gaylord resort. Plexus pays for your hotel room, so you get to. It's an earned trip, mm-hmm. and it's for leaders. So the people that earn it have proven themselves as leaders over the course of the contest, which is June through August. And then now don't let it scare you, because I'm going to have a couple people highlight their stories and how they earned it. But I will say that the first year I joined Plexus, I didn't go to the convention. It was just not a priority for us that year, and I didn't go. But the Leaders Retreat started right after. I didn't even know to be working towards it, but I was really working my business. And guess what? I earned it, but I didn't even know to tell my team about it. And thankfully, I had a couple girls on my team that came to me, and they're like, I think I could earn that. What do I need to do? Like at the last minute, a couple of them, actually I had one that did it. The other one was close, but she had some other things going on in her life at the time, and it wasn't feasible. But I will just say, you want to be there. You want to make it a priority to be there. And the way you earn it is by working your Plexus business. So that's the great thing about these contests that they run, is it's simply rewarding us for the work that we should already be doing. And one thing I will say is the contest for convention, I think a lot of it was restructured. Okay, so it wasn't just going to reward the people with these huge teams, which, yes, that always helps. But, to have a big team, but there's a lot of different ways that there were, opportunities to earn prizes. And I think there was quite a few people who did not set high goals because they thought, well, it's just for jewels, or, well, I don't have a huge team, so there's no way we could earn stuff. Some of those people earned significant prizes just based off PV alone, personal volume. Mm-hmm. They had that coming into the contest, and they just carried it through. So just keep in mind that the contest will center around new ambassador enrollments in your levels 1 through 4. This is how it's been based on in the past. We'll get the nitty-gritty details this week at convention. Signing up for customers, upgrades also count. And then helping people get to silver. So I really feel like they work on that retention and duplication pieces for these contests. So don't set your sights too low. That's my encouragement to you guys. It's about mindset and setting your goal. And even before you have belief, because some of you may think, I don't know if I can do that. But once you set the goal, you map it out, you work with your sponsor, you tag them, not tag them, you contact them and let them know. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that you have accountability with whatever goal you set. Mm-hmm. So as soon as you decide, once the contest comes out and you can see what's before you, set your goal and then work with your sponsor to line that out. This idea of, oh, I'm just going to let it happen organically, or whatever happens, happens. Some of these things that I hear sometimes. There's no organic to earning a contest. I'll just tell you, it takes a lot of hard work, determination, day in, day out consistency, but it's fun work. I don't really consider it work. To me, it's all fun. But the contest starts on this end. So the front end. Don't wait until August to be like, oh, I've already earned these prizes. Oh my goodness, I could probably earn something else. Start now. Okay, so front load, meaning, well, it started retroactively June 1st. That's how it's been in the past. So keep that in mind. You want it and you work for it. And Justin and I were talking about this last night. My dad always says, you are what you do. The rest is just talk. So behind the goal that you set needs to be, a willingness to work and to dig in and to do the things on a daily, consistent basis. And I know I was talking to my friend, Carissa Casey, and she was saying, what is it for you? What do you need to do to carve out that Plexus time in your day? Maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's an hour, maybe it's at a point in your business where you need to be getting up an hour early, working an hour at lunchtime, and then working an hour after kids go to bed, or however it works in your schedule. But I will just say the urgency and the immediacy of making things happen this month is absolutely crucial. And set the example for your team. Your team wants to see you earning things. Your team is there to make the dream happen. Okay, not just for you, but for them too, because as they work and as they earn things, it helps, you, it helps them, everyone's businesses grow, and the momentum comes, and it's very, very fun. And in the course of all this, we're helping people get healthy. People are earning, money back on their products so that they don't have to budget for it. So it's a win, like in all angles. And the personal growth that happens, the scary factor, the fears that we, push past, it's all benefiting, like in every way. And so it's really super fun. Okay, so I'm actually going to turn it over to Wendy Lawson, because she is going to share her story of her first year. She was actually one of my very first ambassadors. She joined, it was weird to me to be talking without seeing myself. She actually joined not during a special. She joined after a special that I had run in May of, what year was that? 2015. Yes, so Wendy has been, she's been one of my first very faithful, sweet ambassadors, and she's going to share what happened in light of her earning Leaders Retreat that very first year, and then every year since, this girl has earned it. So she's going to share.
Thanks, Megan. Okay. First, I'm sure you're recording this, but you can repeat it for everybody. Justin, what are you speaking about on Saturday morning? That's so exciting.
Well, it's a panel with me and Chris McCall and Thomas Hemingway, and they're just going to, Victor Antonio is just going to ask a few questions. He's kind of emceeing the whole event, and then we're just going to answer just a few questions. We don't have a whole lot of time, but it'll be a good opportunity.
It sure will be. Congratulations. That is awesome. Okay. So in May 1st, 2015, I was talking to Megan, actually, whatever the last day of April was, right? And she's running a last day of the month special. And I thought for sure I was going to join that day after I'd blown her off several times before, thinking, oh, maybe I'll join, maybe I won't. But I want to encourage you guys who talk to people who ask you questions and then stop talking to you, and then ask you questions and then stop talking to you, even while you're working on Leadership Retreat. Because as I was asking her questions, I went from saying, okay, I'm going to try this as a retail customer, to, okay, fine, I trust you, I'll try it as a preferred customer. And then, oh, well, what the heck? I'm just going to, I'll share it from day one because I trust you. the business model makes sense, and if it works, I'm going to tell everybody. So let's just, start that way. So don't get discouraged whenever you're reaching out to people and helping them. Every reach out, you're teaching, and they're processing things. And so anyway, my journey started May 1st because I missed her special by 20 minutes. And but I started sharing from day one. As soon as I got my pink drink, I put it out there on Facebook. Hey, I'm doing this experiment with myself. I'll let you guys know what happens. That was it. A picture of my pink drink, because I did not feel good about myself, and there was no way I was going to put my own face on Facebook. But now I'm doing, a Zoom call with you guys with no makeup on, and don't care. It's like Plexus changes your life. It changes everything. Changes your confidence, and gives you purpose and freedom. It's so good. So from day one, I started sharing. And from day one, people were interested. It just piqued their interest, and they were interested. And Carrie's team page, I think we were on, Megan, were we on Carrie's team page? Yeah, and she started posting about Leaders Retreat, and Jessica Heffley started posting about Leaders Retreat. And of course, I was doing everything that Jessica Heffley said to do. Just whatever she said, I would just do it. And I'm pretty sure Megan was doing the same thing. So Megan's growing her business, my business is growing, and we're just both kind of, parallel growing, taking our Plexus, learning. And two things happened those 3 months, May, June, and July. My mentality Megan said it, it's a mindset thing. My mentality went from, I used the law of curiosity, like, what could this actually be, right? I asked the questions, like, what could this actually mean for my family? And what does a compensation plan, how does it actually work? And I started asking really good questions and coming up with really great answers. And so the possibility was big. And I understood the huge potential of this company and the impact it was going to make for my family. So use the law of curiosity. Like, what is Leadership Retreat? Why would I want to go? Like, ask those questions and find the good answers. And then the second thing you need to do is go from asking, well, could I actually get to Leaders Retreat, into, this is John Maxwell, how can I? And so I was asking that question that very first year in June, July. It was actually in the middle of July, whenever I started asking, like, I was really asking, could I actually get to Leaders Retreat? And I started doing all the math, which I don't even like math, but I started doing all of the math and looking at the point system and how the PV gives you points, and how preferred customers give you points, and how new ambassadors give you points. And I was like, this could actually work. So I did all of the math, and I contacted Carrie and Megan, and I said, oh my guys, look, I think I can actually do this. And Megan, like she said, she hadn't really even looked at it. I don't think, right, Megan? I don't want to misrepresent you. She hadn't even really looked at it. And I was like, I think I can go. So, there was one other thing that my team's finishing up the 15 laws tonight. And there was one, look and think in terms of options. And I want you to think about that way for Leaders Retreat too, because there's no just one way to get to Leaders Retreat, right? Like, if you have a team and they're working really hard, then you can help your team get to Leaders Retreat, and they help you get and earn prizes for Leaders Retreat. But if you don't have anybody working with you, then your PV is going to be huge. You've got to get customers. You have to stock up on products as much as you can. Look at the levels and be really smart with your efforts and your income and all of those things, but max out your PV. You can never make up for that. You max it out June, July, and August as much as you can. Utilize that, the points that you get from PV. And then just make a list. Okay, well, I need this many. In the next 3 months, I need this many new people. And it's going to be the same for ambassadors or preferred customers. Probably you'll earn 10 points for new preferred customers and 10 points for new ambassadors. Just make a list. I need I don't know how many it's going to be. 60 new people to get to where I want to go. Okay. And then I just had a chart. I had sticky notes. Megan remembers my sticky notes and likes that. And I also had a dry erase board in my kitchen. I had it in front of my face. Put your goals in front of your face. If you don't see it every day, remember that you're really working towards that and you don't believe it. This is about believing that you can. And in 2015, I believed that I could. And I did. And Megan encouraged me and Carrie encouraged me. And that's the other thing. Get your sponsor on board with you. I think Christine Spina is on this call with us. And that girl, I don't even know what level she is of mine, but I know that I breathe belief into her and she breathed it right back to me. And so hook up with those people that are on your team or not on your team, that believe that you can do it, and then set your sights together and check in together and say, oh, okay, I contacted 10 people today. And I'm just going to say, it's you might make it to Leaders Retreat contacting 10 people a day. That might work, especially if you're new and your warm market is still warm. But when I was working on Leaders Retreat, I remember at least one day that I did 100 cold reach outs to I didn't know these people. They were people in a group. In 2 different times I did that. I took an opportunity on Facebook where I could tell all of these people needed what we had, and I commented underneath their comments, not about Plexus, and then I reached out to them personally in Messenger. And sometimes you get kind of Facebook says, no, you can't do that anymore. You've talked to too many people you don't know today. Don't get discouraged. Do it the next day. So, okay. So how can I do it? Not if it's no, you can. All of you guys can do this, but how can you? And then get it in front of your face and get people who believe in you and believe with you that you can do it. And then like Megan's dad said, put that effort behind your words. You got to work hard.
Yeah, I love that. And Wendy, I think it was kind of like we were all working and we were sharing. I didn't think it was work, but we were just sharing. And yes. I think in August, that's when I was like, oh, I earned it. And then I think you were like, oh, I think I can earn it too. I only need 10 more people.
Yes.
And you maxed it out and did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I did is I went to your Eyes on Silver thread and just tapped the Zoom button and added it.
Oops. Someone's unmuted.
That's in your messenger.
But Megan, we were doing all of the things that Jessica Heffley said to do. So we were being coachable. And we were doing all the things every day. We were listening to calls. I know you were. We were both learning. So we had that beginner's mindset that John Maxwell says. You need to have a beginner's mindset. Mm-hmm. We both had it, and we were teachable. We did all the things every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Reaching out, learning, getting motivated by all the calls, touching base with each other. It was fun.
Exactly.
And that first Leaders Retreat. Oh my gosh, you guys, you have to go.
Yeah.
You have to go. You might miss convention, you might miss Super Saturday, but you've got to go to Leaders Retreat.
Yeah, they spoil you big time there. So it's always hosted at a Gaylord resort. They like party. It's like party crazy. Like when we went to Washington, D.C., they had part of the street closed down, and like the restaurants were Plexus. Like it was for our Plexus event. Mm-hmm. It was super cool, super fun. They have great meals. It's not like necessarily every meal, but there'll be like a big breakfast usually. One of the days there'll be some night events with dinner or dessert, and then there'll be some training. But it's not all training like it is at convention. It's very, very much set so you can bring a guest and go tour, go check out, some cool sites to see, because it's always hosted in a fun location.
Yeah. And Leaders Retreat I agree with Megan. It's my favorite event that Plexus does. This is going to sound weird. So we've been to the Hawaii trip twice now. And I honestly, I prefer Leaders Retreat because it's just, I don't know. I really, really like Leaders Retreat. It's hands down my favorite event. And I went in 2015 with these guys. I went as a guest because I wasn't working the business yet. I was still skeptic, kind of trying to figure out what this Plexus thing was, but I figured we might as well get, take the free trip, while it lasts, but when I left Leaders Retreat 2015 in Washington, D.C., I left with the attitude that we can do this. I said, and there's a reason why. I won't go into why necessarily. Megan remembers what the moment that, anyway.
It was like one of those moments when someone steps on the elevator and you can see their lanyard. And this lady stepped on the elevator and he was like eyeing it and said, Senior Ruby.
I said, we can do this.
He's
we
like,
got
if
this.
She can, I can do this.
And then so I left with a lot of belief, and every Leaders Retreat has been excellent. Every event's been good, but Leaders Retreat's my favorite. And so I went as a guest in 2015, and I made a determination. I'm never going to go as a guest again. I'm going to earn this thing, and I've earned it ever since. It's so worth it. It's such a good time.
Wendy, were you going to pipe up something?
I was just going to say I had a similar experience, and I share it with my team, and I won't share it here. It's a little embarrassing, but same thing. Same thing. I was just like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. No, it wasn't.
But the same poor lady, we're all like, hey, if she can do it, we can do this.
No, but you know what? Here's my mantra, and it still is. I've been with you guys, working with you guys for 3 years. Senior gold after 12 months, and I'm still senior gold. It's okay. It's totally okay. I'm not going to be a senior gold next year.
No.
And so here's my mantra. I'm like, God doesn't love Megan Goff more than he loves me, right? I mean, no, he doesn't love Justin Goff more than he loves me, and he loves Molly and Christine and everybody else on this call as much as he loves you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll be my time when it's my time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to come by like, oh, well, whatever happens. I know that. I worked for that first Leaders Retreat and prayed hard for that first Leaders Retreat. If you guys remember, it was a miracle that I got it and a miracle that I got to go. So anyway, I had a similar experience. So I guess we could tell people, like, show up to events to build your belief. And even if that means having embarrassing stories that you're not going to share in public.
Hey, whatever it takes.
That's why in-person events are so important, and why it's worth prioritizing. Okay, so I'm going to share a little bit of my story. Thank you so much, Wendy, for sharing. I'm going to share a little bit of what happened at the end of the contest in April. So I was, we were all nearing the end of the convention contest, and our position in the lineup of top teams slipped to number 8 instead of number 7. I remember going to Tamara and Jessica and like, okay, what do we do? What do I do? And they're like, well, this contest is stacked very heavy towards personal sponsorship, personal recruiting, signing up those customers and ambassadors yourself. So I'm sharing what I did because it works. And so like Wendy was sharing the numbers, like, okay, you might be able to share with, reach out to 10 people a day and get your goals. For some of us, that doesn't work. We have to reach out to a lot more people than that. And so in April, every spare minute that I had, I was reaching out and following up with people. I have lists. I have a clipboard with papers of follow-up lists, okay? Because I've been at this a couple of years now. So I have a lot of follow-ups, and then I have tons of people that I still have not reached out to on Facebook. So I went back to my downloaded Facebook friends list, and once we were, in April, that's what I did. That was my main focus, is to close as many people as possible. And my main focus was customers. And I will say, like Wendy said, if you don't have a huge team, or even if you do have a huge team and your PV is like hovering around 500, you need to get it at least to 1,000 or 1,500. Sign up those 10 triplex customers. You can do it, because I did it in April. Okay, and I know Angie Ambrosetti, she was going to share tonight, but she had a team call herself. So she actually waited till the very last day of the month and saw how close she was to earning that $2,000 check. And that's what she did the entire day, was she reached out and followed up. And she signed up, I think, 15 customers that day. Insane. Can you imagine? But that was her only focus for that whole entire day until the bell rang at midnight. And she hit her goal. And she maxed out her PV when that's what she needed to earn that. So I also maxed my PV, and I thought it looked impossible because I was hovering around 1,500, and to get that 2,500 PV, I'm just like, whoa, that's insane. But hey, I'm going to try it. And what I did is I just focused on preferred customers. I did not try to qualify people, things like that. I just was signing up customers. And so for me personally, in order to give them the best deal, I just reimbursed people the cost. I basically gave them my price and rebated them back like $15 off their triplex order. And so that's one thing that I will say is if you feel like morally like, oh man, I want them to get the best deal, then just give them a little rebate. It's not a big deal. It's a write-off for your business, and it helps you sign up for preferred customer. But I always make sure that they know that they're committing for 60 days. So a couple other things in light of PV, make sure, like what Wendy said, you stock up, use those months as stock up times. You can also run incentives and giveaways, even, incentivizing your team to do some simple tasks, to make their first posts, to, run a giveaway, do a Facebook Live video, all those little things, or make their first post. Anyways, doing those little incentives and then giving them a free product. Hey, free product of your choice. And that helps your PV. And it also is a write-off because you're gifting it to someone on your team, and they get to try a new product. So the other thing that is great about signing up, making preferred customers the focus of the beginning of the contest, is that you jack up your PV, you hit that top threshold PV, but then by the end of the contest, helping your people through dosage, through die-off, all that stuff, then they can flip to become an ambassador and qualify, basically double dip. So you get to qualify for those points, those credits for the Leaders Retreat contest at the front end and also at the back end when you have a preferred customer that joins during the convention and then flips to ambassador later on. Also, don't forget about retailers packs. That's the only way we buy Slim now. You get 8 packs in a in a set, and it's 500 PV, I believe, right? So anyways, that's a great way to up your PV. Okay. Was there something else you want to say? Oh, Justin was going to share a little bit about Lynn. I don't know that Lynn's on. She might have had something pop up at the end. Lynn, if you're on, go ahead and pop up. Otherwise, Justin's going to share. Justin worked really closely with Lynn Howersile, and she won all of the prizes. She and Angie Ambrosetti won all of the convention prizes. Yeah. So they're going to be on stage with a huge check. Do you want to share a little bit about
Yeah, so Lynn won the Black Tie Gala, and she won the $2,000 check. But one of the things about Lynn is that she's a planner, and I think we could all learn from her example. So this was on her wall. I don't know if you've talked to Lynn, I don't know if you can see it. This was on her wall for the life of the contest. Okay. It starts out, you can't really see it, but you can tell that the highlighter changed. The first highlighter died and she had to get a different highlighter. But the first slot has 10 for 10 credits. And the last slot, all the way down at the bottom, has 2,100 for the 2,100 credits. She mapped it all out. She did a very good job, and she had a very specific plan
of when she needed to hit.
Right, when she needed to hit, what she needed to hit.
Time and date.
So the thing I think that we can really learn is that we have to do a better job planning. If we start to plan how we're going to end the contest, the last month of the contest, that's not really a plan. That's more of a sweep. Let's try to sweep up whatever points are left over. But if I think we need to not fail to plan. And I think that's one thing that we've learned, is something I've learned personally from Lynn. And I know for me personally in the convention contest, I set a goal at the beginning of the convention contest and mapped it out to get 1,800 points. So my goal was to hit the black tie gala. I set my sights too low. And so, so I didn't max out my PV the first 2 months of the convention contest because it didn't line up with my goal, which was too low. But what happened was I ended up maxing out my PV the last 2 months. And if I would have been paying closer attention or set higher goals and really maxed my PV out at the beginning, then I would have been in the top 50 and I would have had a name in the private island drawing. But since I set too low of a goal and I didn't max out my PV at the beginning, I was in the top 100, which is fine, but there's no prize for that. So, I think let's set big, scary goals and definitely work the PV because that's where you're going to get the majority of points on these contests. And it's when we stock up for products throughout the year. We're not going to have to order Slim, I guess, for a while. But so we have plenty. So if we run out, we're going to be millionaires based off the street value of Slim because we have not a closet full. We have enough going on. But
yeah.
So anyway, she did a very good job. She did an excellent job of planning and sticking with her plan very, very, very consistently, like every single day. And it was a lot of fun to watch.
Cheer her on too, because she has a ping pong ball in that drawing for that private island trip because she ranked up. There was that special thing for the rank up. So I think there was 27 people that qualified for that other special spot for earning that trip. So cheer Lynn and John on that they get to go. That would be such an honor.
That'd be awesome.
I would also challenge everyone, ask your people once that the convention or the leader retreat contest comes out, find out from your people when you're doing private coaching calls with them, find out what their goal is, and that will help everyone. Okay. So you'll also end up higher than you think because so many of the little retention things and developing people to silver, that doesn't actually get accumulated into your total points until the next month. So always keep that in mind. We've had one sweet gal on the team miss some really big prizes the last 2 years by like one person. So you don't want that to happen to you. So I know she's not going to let that happen again, but just make sure you map out really carefully once that comes out. Okay. I did want to say really quick that a couple of things. So if you haven't listened to that kickoff call, make sure you go back and listen to the corporate kickoff call. There's some good info on that. And same with the scoop, the live video I did on the team page. If you just click on the videos, you can go check that out because there might be some things on there that you want to duplicate with your teams. Silver, Let's Go Silver is our theme for the month. A lot of the different things I'm going to be doing, they are not really kicking off until we get back from convention. And always subject to change depending on what kind of cool ideas that we glean from there. So I'm also encouraging IPA accountability chat threads or groups or whatever, just to get, if that's something that you need, make sure you're plugged into one of those. We have an incentive out for personal development. So pick a book, read it this month, and I'm drawing for some convention prizes because there's a convention store and you do not want to miss out on the fun little doodads that there are. So I'm going to be drawing names for those for the people that read a book this month. And then we are also recognizing the ALA. So it's a recognition award that we're going to do this month on our team. So for anyone that goes silver or silver again, gets some recognition. And I'm going to be drawing names for prizes for that, just to really focus on that power of 3 because there's so many people added to the teams in May. We want to really help those numbers duplicate and exponentially grow. So it goes back to just having those conversations, encouraging people to really focus on having conversations with their new ambassadors to find out what their thoughts are about sharing. Don't be afraid to bring up that question because that was one thing that I was intrigued by. And I would have shared sooner probably if my sponsor would have said, hey, what are your thoughts about sharing? And it's a scary thing to ask someone, especially if you're like me and you're like, oh, they're just a wholesaler. But I think that puts a lid on them, because you'll have people that you've probably signed up a future silver, a future gold, a future diamond maybe, but they don't believe in themselves yet, or maybe they have a lot of questions still, or a lot of fears. So make sure you're having those conversations this month. Okay. I think if you have any specific questions about Leaders Retreat, just stick them in the comments or the chat thread, and we can answer those. We're going to kind of switch gears here and move on to how to build a Plexus team with your spouse. So this is something that Justin and I wanted to share about, because we're building Plexus together. So let's see. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going off some notes that I wrote down last night. I'll just share a little bit about how we started. So soon after I went silver, I was thinking, okay, I watched Jarrett Abart's diamond documentary and some other diamond documentaries, and I caught a vision for what Plexus could be, like Wendy was talking about, like those questions you start asking yourself, like this curiosity. And so I was like, well, if they did it, why can't we do it? And so that just sparked something in me, and I was like, okay, game on. How do I get to gold? What am I supposed to do? Okay, I need 17 more people? Okay. So I did some incentives. I did some giveaways. I did the product tester post, and by June, so I went silver in April, and by June, the end of June, I was gold. I was so excited. And so then I don't know what I was thinking really, but I signed up Justin. I don't even know that he knew he was signed up. And he gave his green light for, yeah, if you want to do it, go ahead. And so then I was like, okay, cool. I will get him to gold. And around, like in the midst of that time, he was starting to have some results on the products, and he was starting to share with people. And so we both started just putting people under his leg, or whatever, under him. Mm-hmm. And so naturally, I had 20 people under me. He had 20 people under him in a very short period of time, probably 4 months. We had about 40 people on our team. And naturally, underneath both of us, some sharers popped up. Okay, some people, got to silver, and then, there's some other, people that joined during that time that are now gold, senior ruby, emerald. Okay, so that whole idea that Eric Worre talks about, that success loves speed, is very true. So if you haven't tapped into that training, go listen to him. It's Eric Worre, called Success Loves Speed. Slow and steady does not win the race when you're doing network marketing. So just FYI there. I also say that, I wrote a lot of notes down, and I'm having trouble remembering what we all talked about. But I would think that one thing that a consistent theme is that Jess and I complement each other in our strength zones. So, like, do you want to share?
I want to go back just one step real quick to so we were putting people under me. I wasn't really signing anybody up. But I would send them to Megan, and I'd have her sign them up, because I was so busy with work at the time. I was sharing. I'm like, just call Megan. I don't really have time to mess with it. I really don't even know how to do it. And that's kind of how it worked. But as soon as I got to gold, then she worked her gold leg, and then I worked my gold leg until probably right before I went to emerald. And then she would have stacked a few more under my leg at that time. And then she went back to where she was at, and we both worked our legs individually. Mm-hmm. So we got some really good advice one time in light of working with your spouse. One of the cool things about Plexus is that you can stack a spouse under you. And that's not allowed in a lot of network marketing companies. So that's a really kind of a bonus with Plexus. So you might as well, with a business mind, you might as well take advantage of that perk, So, and there's smart ways to stack and work a spouse's leg, and there's not smart ways to stack and work a spouse's leg. I'm not going to say, and we can get into details of that later, maybe with questions, but we got some really good advice one time from a diamond couple from Texas. The husband's a diamond and the wife's a diamond, and they work the business together. They're both working the business, and right now what they do is regardless of who signs up an ambassador, it doesn't really matter. They put it underneath the wife or the husband based on where their outside leg points are. So right now, their main goal is just to maintain and manage outside leg points. So they go back and forth just to keep themselves at diamond. And I think that that's very, very, very wise. And that's kind of the model that we adopted, I don't know, maybe a few months ago, really. So it's fairly new. But right now, she's obviously at diamond, and I'm working that direction. So
So
anyway,
there's been quick blitzes where I've put people under him. So we work our business together. Like, that's what we tell people. So it's not like I'm like, we just work it together. But during those blitzes, it's been for a specific purpose, specific reason. Because you don't want to develop a lopsided business. It's always best to sign level ones.
So a lot of times you can get into danger with the stacking when the upline spouse stacks everybody under the downline spouse. And then all of a sudden, that's the only really working leg that you've got. It works good for a while till about senior Ruby, senior Ruby, and then everything falls apart because you don't have the outside leg point support to promote any further. So that's why I'm saying there's a smart way to stack and to utilize the spouse leg, and there's a not smart way. So it's just something you have to be careful. You have to be careful with. So.
And your team will do what you do. Like, I've noticed that. I feel like underneath him, the team is very deep because people have done that. I don't know.
Right.
It's not even been spouses, but like sisters will put under sisters to help different people. And like that, I mean, it dilutes points so much.
And that's no good over time. So whenever we have done any sort of stacking, I guess, it's been for a short period of time for a very specific reason or goal. It hasn't been like an eternal stack that ends up biting you in the rear, later on down the road. So I have guys that Lord willing, it's possible I can promote this month, but I've been sideline pals with some guys who we were promoting every single month all the way up until senior Ruby. And then I've moved on from that, and they're still at senior Ruby, even though they have diamond points, because they don't have the outside leg points to promote. So that's one of the dangers you can get into with stacking. And so I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Yes.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about how your spouse can complement you. So I recommend the Strengths Finder book, or any sort of personal development book that helps you find your own strengths. And so Jess and I were talking about this last night. And I will just say as a side note, Jessica Heffley and Tamara Holloway's call on the corporate Plexus Ambassador page is absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't listened to that, go listen to it, because they talk about self-awareness, and that's a huge, huge helpful thing. It's a personal growth thing, but the more you can, one, play into your strengths, and two, be self-aware so you know what your strengths are. It's almost like a people awareness too, not just with yourself, but with your spouse if you're working with him or her, or with the people that you're working with on your team. And as you're chatting with prospects, people skills are absolutely essential in this business. But we use our strengths in light of what we're good at in this business. So like, for example, Justin's great at numbers. He's great at strategy. He's great at encouraging and perspective and relating with people. He's good at the big picture, and he's great at belief, and he's willing to communicate all those things. So he does a lot of coaching with people. And he also taproot coaches as well. So not just level ones, but also down into downlines as well. For me, my strengths lie more within very practical, very efficient, consistent diligence, like kind of engaging team page, team incentive, getting stuff out there, verbiage, hey, use this wording, send it out to 5 people today, that kind of thing. Into implementing things to help us grow and kind of getting that urgency factor going. So we definitely operate and seek to operate within our strengths. And so if you're working with a spouse, think about those things. Maybe read the Strengths Finder together or listen to it on Audible and find out what your strengths are. And tell each other as a couple, like, what do you see in your husband? What do you see in your wife? And how can you utilize those to build your Plexus business strong? Also, the way we think of our Plexus business is unified. We view ourselves as a team. It's not like I have my team, he has his team. Don't talk to my people, or hey, this is my money, this is your money. Like, it's all one unit. And so I think we have one account, we have a lot of trust between each other. And so that has really helped our business. Do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah. And I think that you have to maximize each other's strengths and help in the areas of weakness. And, individually, Megan and I are good at a few things, but together, when you work as one, when you work as a team, we're good at a lot. And that's not a brag. That's more of just the principle of just teamwork, really. Two can row a lot faster than one. It's just the way it works. And almost like God designed it that way or something, So, so we're, work together. And to be honest with you, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun working together, and we're I think very compatible, but we're not the exact same. We're different. I mean, you can see, just for example, she has one page of just beautifully written notes here, and then a second page, and there might even be a third, and then I've got this like wrinkled up sticky note, like three lines. That's how I roll. That's just how I roll. And it's okay. So I think being in competition with one another is bad. I think that sometimes that in this business, from what I've seen and heard, that a lot of times the husband and wife are like competing with one another. And I'm thinking, man, you're missing out on the blessing of this thing. This is, Megan, and I don't know, Megan is a diamond, I am an emerald, but together we're a diamond emerald team with one bank account, with one business. According to the IRS, they don't see Megan and Justin, they see Goff Family Incorporated. And that's the two of us together. And it's a blast, and it's a blessing.
We're just sharing how it works for us. So take bits and pieces, whatever you can glean from what we're sharing.
If you're in competition with your spouse, I guess roll with it. But, you might end up on the couch at some point, maybe, So I'm not into that. So we just kind of work together, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so the official rule for signing a spouse is waiting till you're gold. But our personal suggestion, and that's the suggestion of so many different Plexus jewels, is to wait at least until you're gold, but you need multiple strong legs before working building into your spouse.
So not everybody should sign their spouse up at gold.
No.
So if you are, let's say you go gold and you've got one strong leg, and that's it. It's a real deep, like one leg team and not real wide.
Or all wholesalers.
Then I would recommend waiting until you have an established gold, senior gold, ruby team. So you're not just a one leg table standing there, because it can just cause trouble down the road.
And some people shouldn't sign a spouse until they're emerald or maybe even diamond. Like if their husband isn't really working it, then it'd be better for you to just sign everyone as a level one.
I think that there's just a lot of different things to look at. It's not just a one set rule. I just think that there's a lot of things to look at in light of the health of a team, in light of the first spouse's team before signing up and stacking under the other spouse. There's just several things to consider in light of being a wise business builder.
Because on the front end, it's nice to get all those double BBBs and stuff, but on the back end, when you're really working hard at Senior Ruby to get to Emerald, you need every point you can possibly get.
Well, and not only that, so if you get to gold and you don't have a real healthy gold team, and let's say you sign your spouse up and you start putting everybody under your spouse, yeah, you're double dipping and getting a little bit of extra money for the business building bonus there when you're a gold, but it can cause trouble and you can miss out on so much more commission later on. I mean, because that just grows and grows and grows. So like I said, I just think you have to be really wise and calculated. I mean, the thing that we have to realize is that with this network marketing opportunity, or this as a Plexus ambassador, we are business owners, and we really need to think as a business owner, is this a wise move? Is this going to give us more of a return on our investment? So we need the quicker we can start acting and thinking as business owners and businessmen and women, I think the more successful we'll find ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. I think it's a transition. That's a transition I had to make from like, who can I help and help get healthy, to, okay, well, if I'm going to grow this thing, I need to be a little bit more of a numbers person. I need to figure this out. So taking ownership and realizing that you are the CEO of your business, and that's a huge responsibility, but it's also a joy. And I'll just say really quick, your husband is a great resource for lots of different things, but he has a network, mm-hmm. and you can definitely tap mm-hmm. into it and open up that market. But I will say that Justin reaching out to his network versus me reaching out to his network, huge difference mm-hmm. because of influence. Right. I don't know his people. We have no connection point. I mean, I have no connection point with his people. So I think that's one reason why you were so successful in like growing a team, because it wasn't just me trying to prospect his friends or whatever.
Right. And I would say the same thing, that your wife, if for any men that might be on here and that you see the opportunity with Plexus, is that your wife is an excellent resource. Mm-hmm. There's no greater resource on this planet, whether you're in Plexus or not, there's no greater resource that you have than your wife. Yeah. I mean, she's the greatest asset you have, so unless she's a liability. I don't know. That's a whole nother issue. However, she should be an asset. And we're just assume that she is. But, so use her. I think a lot of men especially are afraid because of pride, because of keeping score, because of we like to view things. I mean, providing for our family is a very, very important thing, and I'm not minimizing that. However, with this opportunity, you can both work mm-hmm. together.
It's wise.
You can go further, faster together, and so for any men that are on here, feel free to reach out to me anytime, and I can talk to you in depth further about this. I'd love to. But don't be afraid to work with your wife. Humble yourself, because it's worth it. It's worth it. And our relationship is grown, because of working together. And we don't always see eye to eye either, but, we're working together. We're working this thing out, and we use one another. And like I said, we go further, faster together. So
use in a good way. Okay, that sounds kind of creepy.
Hey, I mean, you work from home. There are benefits.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Working as a team. Okay. Whatever. Anyways, so this month, just bank on points being high. So this is kind of transitioning a little bit, but this month is going to be a huge month in Plexus. So if you're close to a rank up, get your ducks in a row. Get your people talking to their customers, talking to their wholesalers, helping people go silver. My challenge is to start those conversations, because there's lots of exciting things happening and another new product coming out. So,
couple quick questions.
Okay. Any quick questions? Sometimes people don't want to ask questions on a big team call, but feel free to unmute and ask if you have any.
Hey, Megan.
Yeah. Hey.
It's Amber. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I have a question about how I would max out my PV for the month, for each month. I'm not sure exactly how to do that.
It would be helpful if I was not muted, right? Okay, anyway.
You just missed some really good stuff too. I just want to let you know.
So let's pretend that Amber has only 100 PV because she's ordering her triplex. So in order to get from 100 PV to 2,500 PV, because that's normally the top threshold for personal volume, then Amber needs to sign up 25 triplex customers, or 24. I'm not a math person. Anyways,
24.
24. Okay. 24.
See, we're working our strengths together here. This is practical application.
So 24 triplex customers, which sounds very steep, but do not tell yourself you can't do it, because you can. Make that your primary focus to sign customers. Pray that God gives you people that need these products and brings them to you, or brings them to your mind, so you can reach out to them. The way that I signed up 10 triplex customers, or the way Angie signed up 15 actually in one day, was that we did, well, I did a lot of things, but I did some product testers, those product tester posts. There's one specifically for customers. You can search it and find it, but I ran that a couple times. There was, like, the first time I ran it, I did not get anyone, I don't think. But it's just like time of day when people see it, if there's a lot of interaction on that post. So I did that. I did giveaways. So every couple of days I did like a ProBio 5 giveaway. And then a couple of days later I did like a Children's X Factor. And every one of those I had a ton of comments because everyone wanted to win it. And so with every person that lost, any of my losers for an incentive got a reach out from me, and also a sign up bonus if they wanted to pop on the product. So in order to get the products, I made sure that they qualified for that 75 PV threshold. And there's some graphics floating around that have different combinations of which products. Because I think you can do like slim and, or if you want a combo without slim, I think there's different combos of 3 that equal 75 PV or more.
So there's another way to help max out your PV too that you might consider. And I don't know, so I don't really know what the Leaders Retreat qualifications or contest looks like yet. We'll find out soon. But think about this. So we all probably drink Slim, right? And it's Slim alone is what, 70 something, $68, $72 a bag, maybe, as an ambassador. Is that probably about right, I think. So look at it this way. So I'll just go by the convention contest rules that we just got, the contest we just got done with. So there was certain credits you could earn each month for certain amounts of PV that you have, okay? The maximum amount was 2,500 PV to get the maximum amount of credits that month. So not that you can't recruit 25 customers a month, because you can, but in the convention contest, you could order up to 1,000 PV yourself. And one of the ways to do that, and this is just one option, there's many things you can do, but the retailer's pack that you can order yourself is 8 bags of Slim for $500, and that gives you 500 PV. Okay, so if you do the math on that, anything over like 500 PV or over, part of our compensation plan is you get 25% of that PV, right? That's a known fact of our compensation plan. So let's just say you order the retailer's pack. You get 500 PV. You automatically go 500 with the 500 PV. You automatically make 25% back on that. Now that 25% is off of 400 PV, because the first 100. This might be a little confusing. If you need me to draw a picture or something, I can. But out of the 500 PV, the first 100 always goes back to the company. So you're making 25% off of 400 PV on that one purchase. So that's $100 you made off that retailer's pack purchase right off the bat. Plus you're earning PV credits for the contest, and you end up getting Slim for like $50 a bag. I think maybe like $48 a bag. It's the cheapest way to order Slim. That's the only way we purchase Slim because it's the cheapest. It's almost cut. I mean, it's not cut in half, but it's a significant savings. Plus, and it's an investment in the contest that you're in. So consider making some of those stock up purchases during a convention or leaders retreat contest, because it will save you a lot of money in the long run.
And you can also sell those Slim bags for retail price.
You can, or you can use it as a write-off and use that bag, that retailer's pack, as a tax write-off for giveaways or samples as well. There's just a lot of options that you have in light of maxing out your PV.
Mm-hmm. And Amber, one thing I would suggest, if you're serious about signing up and maxing your PV, you may already have 500 or 1,000 PV already, and so maybe you don't need a whole 24 people. But I would highly recommend listening to that Eric Worre, How to Recruit 20 in 30 Days, because that's basically what I was working towards in April. I started late, but the first week was very discouraging to me. I didn't see a lot of fruit from it, but I kept doing it. And I know Emily Gibson said that she did that on her reentry, and she actually fast started gold. So she had 20 people in 30 days join her. But that, doing the things like you maybe I was having to reach out to as many people as possible. I don't know, probably upwards of 30 to 50. I don't know. I didn't count, but reaching out to those higher numbers is going to, it just is a numbers thing. So you'll get some people that are interested, but after doing a couple of weeks of that, you'll have a larger number of people to work with to help them get started.
Okay. How about another question real quick, and I know everybody has things to do, and I don't know what our kids are doing. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything major happening. However, we'll have to check on them shortly.
They're playing Legos. I can hear them.
Legos.
Where do you find the video? Go to YouTube. YouTube is a great resource. You can find videos on how to rank up. You can find videos on how to close. But yeah, you can find Eric Worre's How to Recruit 20 in 30 Days. And I know Emily Gibson had a fantastic affirmation for that. And I think it was, why are so many people excited to try Plexus with me? Something to that effect. Like that was what she repeated to herself over and over. Why are so many people coming to me ready to join as customers? So use your affirmations too, because it really helps your mindset.
Okay, who's got another question? Anybody?
I know it's kind of scary to unmute on these big team calls, or maybe no one has any questions.
Maybe nobody has any questions.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, we went a little long. Thanks. Oh, Molly has a question.
Yes.
This is off topic. One of my girls that was going to convention tonight said that she couldn't. Her husband was going to go with her and he can't get off. Is it too late for somebody to use that ticket still? Okay. So I'm putting that out there.
Another thing is, I'm just going to say this real quick. It happens every time. Every time we're going to go do something significant, whether it's going to a homeschool conference, whether it's going to a revival, a wedding, a funeral, whatever, whenever we're trying to leave and go and do something that is going to be a benefit to us, there's always warfare. I don't understand. Someone throws up, something happens, we leave the wallet at home, whatever. It just, in the last like 24, like 28, 48 hours, it just seems like things just happen. So I'm not wanting to, over spiritualize that or anything, but just be praying, if you all would, just for those that are going and those that are going to be traveling and leaving kids at home or taking kids with, or whatever the case may be, just as a team, be praying for all of us. We'd really appreciate that.
Yeah, and don't let any tickets go unused. So if you have someone or maybe a spouse who's registered and they can't go now, anything, we want all the tickets used up. So yeah, Molly, just go ahead and put that out on the team page. And yep, Logan said it's a thumbs up. So as long as there is someone to take that person's, lanyard and all that good stuff, we're good to go. Alrighty. We'll see a lot of you later on this week, Lord willing.
Yeah.
Thanks for popping on, guys. Have a great week, and we are going to blow June out of the water. It's going to be a great month.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you.